Welcome to Rise Up Beyond Fertility. This is a podcast for women who are trying to conceive, going through IVF or fertility challenges, or having a break, or just working out the next steps, who feel like this journey has changed them in ways absolutely no one prepared them for. Here we talk about the emotional chaos, all the trauma, the identity shifts, the cultural pressure, the societal pressure, the grief, and the quiet moments where you wonder who you are becoming through all of this. I'm Tina, a fertility and life coach, and this space isn't about pushing through
kind of loneliness
or pretending that you are absolutely fine.
Look like loneliness.
It's about feeling
it's not about
supported,
feeling physically
reconnecting
alone
with yourself,
it's
and
about
rising
being
up beyond
surrounded
fertility,
by people,
whatever that looks
your
like
partner,
and feels like for
your
you.
husband,
If
friends,
you've been
family,
wondering
colleagues,
and asking yourself
but you still
who you are
feel
beyond
like
all
no
of this,
one really gets
you
what you're
are
carrying,
in the right place.
what you're going through every single day, and the type of things that you're thinking about every single day. So if you've ever felt unseen, misunderstood, or like you're holding this quietly on your own, then this episode is for you. I remember being around people who genuinely cared about me, supported me, and loved me. When I was on my own journey, they would check in, they asked questions, they wanted to help, they asked for updates, post scans, test results, what's happening next, especially my sisters. Like, I'm really close to them. So I felt like they were really part of the journey and they wanted to know and they wanted to understand. But yet there were days where I still felt so alone. And I think the reason for that is because there were still thoughts or still things that were going through my mind that I didn't really know how to explain. And honestly, some of those thoughts and feelings I couldn't even put into words. It was just a feeling that I had in my body. Or, some of those feelings felt too heavy or too complicated or even like a little bit depressing, right, to put into words for someone else. And maybe there was a sense of, if I really said that out loud and how I was feeling, it might make that other person feel uncomfortable. Or it might make others worry about me even more. So I was really careful about what I said in front of my mom, my dad, and my sisters especially, because I didn't want them to worry, and I think I didn't want to trigger them either. So a lot of the time, I carried it quietly. Yeah, I would say I carried it quietly. And honestly, it's that kind of loneliness that can feel really isolating, and you feel like you're in this boat bopping along on your own. And working with all the incredible women that I do, and just listening to other women that are on this journey, this type of loneliness is incredibly common when you're going through a fertility journey, because so much of what you're holding is internal. It's the mental load of logistics and organizing appointments, but not just with your doctor, but with other specialists that you now have to liaise with, like whether it's a urologist or a genetic team, genetics, they're looking at your genetics and understanding what's happening, or a rheumatologist or an endocrinologist in my case. And it's this fear around what if the next cycle also doesn't work. The grief around the cycles that haven't worked and the transfers that haven't worked. So all of this noise is constantly running, and I always say it's humming away in the background and in the back of your mind. And when people around you who haven't lived it and they haven't gone through it, it can really feel like there's this huge gap that no one can see between your inner world and what you're showing visible on the outside. So you might find yourself saying, you know, I'm okay with it. I'm doing good. I'm fine. When really you're far from fine. Or downplaying how hard this really actually feels. And honestly, I am definitely guilty of downplaying how hard it was when I was going through it, because I just didn't want others to worry. I just didn't want to have to explain myself as well. That's also exhausting. And that doesn't mean you're unsupported or that you don't have your tribe of people around you that really care about you. But it means that what you're carrying is really hard to share for so many different reasons. And what I talk about in all of my episodes, and really my framework that I work with, is this rising beyond fertility, which doesn't mean forcing yourself to talk to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that asks you about your journey. It means that feeling alone, or like it means recognizing that feeling alone doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. And no, you're not asking for too much. And no, you're not being dramatic. You're certainly not making it all about you all the time. And you're just responding to something that is taking away so much of your time, energy, and is playing havoc with your emotions, quite frankly. So wanting to feel understood, it's a human desire. It's a human requirement. Like we all want to be felt understood, no matter, what journey we're on. So if it feels okay, I want you to take a moment with these reflections and journal prompts I've put together. I'm big on journaling. Like I really feel like it helps. It also helps with you being more aware of what's going on in your internal world and understanding, some of the patterns that are coming up time and time again that you might want to work on, or any emotions that you might want to work on releasing gently and softly. So sit with these. There's no pressure to do anything. Just noticing is enough. So I'm going to talk you through them. There's 5 of them. So number 1, I want you to ask yourself, in what moments do I feel most alone in this journey? What parts of my experience feel hardest to explain to others? Where have I been holding things in to protect other people? What kind of support do I actually need and want right now? And number 5, if I didn't have to be strong, what would I allow myself to feel? So like I said, just sit with these. There's no pressure to do anything with them. Just reflecting, writing some notes is all you need to do. No pressure. And just write what comes out. So now I'm going to take you through a really short guided breath work to help with anything that you might be feeling right now. And also to take a moment to really soften and release that sense of carrying this heavy bag full of weights that you just want to put down. So before we start, I want you to sit comfortably and let your body be supported. Take in a slow breath through your nose and a gentle breath out through your mouth. And again, in and out. Now place one hand on your chest and on the inhale, silently say, I am here with myself. And on the exhale, repeat, I do not have to carry this alone in this moment. Just let your shoulders soften and let your breath slow down. Even listening right now counts as support. And take one final slow breath in and release it gently. If this episode really connected with you and what you're feeling, I want you to hear this. Feeling alone doesn't mean you're unsupported, unloved, and there's not, that there isn't people in your corner really rooting for you. It means that and it often means that you've been so strong for a long time. You don't need to explain yourself perfectly to anyone. And you also don't need to carry this silently. Rising can begin with allowing yourself to be held and nurtured, even in small ways. Before we finish today, I actually want to share something with you. I want to let you know that the journal prompts that I just went through will be in the show notes, so you can look at those later when you finish listening to this. But also I want to let you know that I've been working on something that is super exciting, and it's something that I've never done before. And what I've done is I've created something really special to support you with all of these things that I talked about today and more. And it's called Rise Beyond Fertility, the Rise Reset, a 5-day journey back to yourself. This is a free live experience where I'll guide you through so much. So I will be guiding you through how to use your breath to help you feel calm when you start to feel your heart racing, how you can use visualization to help you see into the future, the life that you can live and the abundance that you deserve, and tapping to help you release some of the fears that you might be holding on to around treatment, around your future, around just being able to cope, and meditation guides to help you come back to yourself and reconnect with yourself when you start to feel overwhelmed and like your mind is just racing with so many what ifs and thoughts about the future and about treatment, and you're finding it really hard to go to sleep at night. This, like I said, is free, it's online, so it's all via Zoom. We start on Monday, the 16th of March, 2026. And really, I created this experience, which is what I want to call it, because it's something that I feel like I really needed when I was in the depths of my own IVF treatment. And what I want you to know is that you will walk away feeling steadier in your body, having some clarity around the decisions you need to make. If you have any decisions upcoming, you'll have tools and techniques to help you release some of the anxiety as you start to feel it creeping in, tools to help you slow down your heart rate when you feel like it is racing a million miles an hour and sending you into panic. And you will have tools to help you to shift some of those ruminating thoughts to a place where you feel a bit more grounded within you. So if you are just tired of pushing through, of coping but not really coping, and just surviving this chapter, this journey, and you're really ready to move through it differently, I really want to welcome you to this space, to this safe, sacred space that was meant for you, that was created for women like you. If you're interested, there's absolutely no pressure to turn up perfectly or to even switch your camera on. But if you turn up live, that is where you will really feel the energetic shift. So you can find, if you are interested and you want to join us, you will find the link to register in the show notes. And as always, I want you to know that you don't have to do this alone. Before you go, take a breath just for a moment. You're doing enough, even on the days when it doesn't feel like it. If this episode spoke to you, you're so welcome to share it with someone who you think might need to hear it. Or come and find me on Instagram. I'd honestly love to hear from you. And just to say that this podcast is here for you for support and perspective. not medical advice. For anything medical, always, please check in with your doctor or specialist healthcare team. Thank you for being here and for not walking this part of your journey alone.